Okay, first of all, Happy New Year to you all. And as I always say, it's just been a moment. So, this is Victor from Excel Moments, and this is my first video of the year. What exactly am I going to be talking about? I don't have a title for it yet, but I'm sure that will come as we progress. Let's dive straight into it. So what do we have here? So, I have data that comes in this form here, in this region here. So I have states. These are states in my country, Nigeria, just some of them. And these are the hypothetical average ages of people in those states and the average GDPs, for those states. Okay. Now, there's some reports that are structured in this manner. We are not here to talk about if this is a good structure or not, but this is how it comes. And I need to get this data filled into these cells. Now, in this simplified case, right, everything is in the right place. I mean, the states, if you transpose them, you get, the data as you have here. So in reality, what this should just be is really a copy and a paste, right? So you select this, you copy, you paste in Lagos, you go to the next row, you paste in FCT, you go to the next row, you paste in Oshun, and so on. But I'm always too lazy to do this. And I always say to myself, if I had 50, states running from left to right, would I go the copy and paste approach? And the answer is no. So I'll most likely use a formula. There are other ways to doing it, but in this video, I want to talk about using a formula. And just to explain the thought process and the building blocks in coming up with this kind of formulas, because they come in handy in a lot of scenarios. When you try to create either a sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4, or a sequence of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, just having an idea how to go about this. Okay, so you already know that I'm likely going to use the index function. That's one way. That's not the only way, but that's what I'm going to describe in this video. So using the index function, you know that the index function definitely needs two elements. Aside, of course, the array, you need a row number and a column number. So I need to be able to pick, the row number and the column numbers, have a formula that generates that sequence and solve the problem. So let's start off by putting here row number. Okay, what I've decided to do here is this is my area of interest, at least the region I will be dealing with. Okay, I already have the states and I'm just looking at the results. Okay, for all intents and purposes, this is column 1, this is column 2, and the rows are that way. So when I look at Lagos now, for example, in my data set, based on my region of interest, Lagos is row 1, FCT is row 2, and so on. So essentially, it means anything in Lagos here, it's row 1. So this is row 1, this is row 1, because they are both Lagos, 2, 2, right? 3, 3, 4, 4. Someone is like, where is this going? You would see. Okay, so I need to be able to come up with a formula that can give me this, sequence. I use the word sequence here, right? So naturally, what comes to mind is the sequence function. Sequence function is not available to everyone, but at least everybody who uses 0365 has it. I think 2019 does. I don't get to use 2016 anymore, so I don't even know if they do have it or not. But if you do have the sequence function, happy are ye. If you don't, there are other ways to doing this using the columns and rows function. But let's focus on the sequence for now. So let me put here row formula. Okay, so I need to write the formula that at least can give me a sequence first of all, then I start massaging from there. So sequence, rows, and columns. I know this is 12 columns of data. Why? Because I know I have 6 states, 2 properties each. Okay, so 6 times 2, 12. So I don't want this data in the rows, I want it in the columns. So for the rows, I'll skip, I'll put a comma, and for the columns, I put 12. So what's that going to do? It's going to create a sequence of 1 to 12, right? Now, look at your objective and see where you are. You can see 1, 2, 3, so 4, 5, 6, all the way. The question is, how do I get from where I am to where I need to go to? The first thing that comes to mind is that I see that in some places, there's a factor of 2. In some places, it's just spot on. So something tells me, and maybe what actually tells me this is the fact that I know where I'm headed, but something tells me that, okay, I could be in luck if I divide by 2, just because I know 12 can go down to 6, 10 can go down to 5, 8 can go down to 4. So I'm going to try to divide by 2. But of course, that also messes up with this that was right before, 1, 1, but now it's 0.5. Okay, so I'm looking at all of this, and I'm like, okay, Doesn't look too bad. It's still right in some places, not right in some. How do I get 0.5 to become 1? Somebody may say add zero point 0.5 to it. Okay. But if it was a case where we had 3 columns, that value would not be 0.5, it would be 0.33. Would you be adding something, to that? That could work. But I see something. I see that if I could find a way to make these decimals integers, I could be lucky to get what I need. Now, when I think of integers, the first function that comes to my mind is int, the int function. But now, what's peculiar about the int function? The int function always rounds away from 0, right? Or I think I said that wrong, rather. Always rounds towards 0. So what it means, it rounds down. Okay, so if I do int and say 0.5, for example, it's not about whether it's closer to 1 or closer to 0. It always rounds down. So int of 0.5 gives me 0. If you are not convinced, do int of 0.7, which should give you, if you think it's rounding up 1, what does it do? It goes down to 0. So int always rounds, towards 0. So int wouldn't work in this case because, as you can see, I need 0.5 to become 1. I need 1.5 to become 2. So I need a function that can round up. Have I said the answer already? I think I have. I need the roundup function. That's one way. So I put the roundup function here. I say round up whatever you have in here. Now, number of digits. If I want it to be an integer, then I just round to 0. So I don't want any decimal places. So number of digits, I say 0 and I do enter. Excellently. So I have what I want. So this expression is going to come in handy in my index function. But just have it in mind, that this is where we're headed for the row. Okay. Now, let's go to the column. Oh, column number. Now, let's see. What sequence are we looking for here? For the columns, I've shown you my area of interest, which is here. So it means average age is column 1, GDP is column 2, right? So it means here where I need average age, I need 1. Here I need 2. Here I need 1. Here I need 2. 1, 2. And that's the sequence. Yes, let's do it the manual way. So that's the sequence we need. I'm going to put here column formula, just to get that. So now we need a formula that can give us this alternating sequence 1 2 1 2 1 2. This one would be a little more interesting and a little more involving, but we start off from the same base, which is the sequence function. So I do sequence. Don't forget, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to skip the row argument and use just the column. So I do 12. Okay, so now I have this, and now I'm, just scratching my head. How do I go from here to my objective? Because now this one is interesting, is alternating, right? I could think of dividing by something, maybe because, but it's not just working out, right? 12 divided by 2 is 6, 10 divided by 2 is 5, 8 divided by 2 is 4, 3, it's just all over the place. Now, in this one, I kind of already know, what I'm supposed to do, maybe from experience. And I'm like, okay, how exactly did I stumble on that? Okay. Funny enough, some of these expressions already exist online, but sometimes you're lucky, you sit down and you think it and you kind of get it. But I know 1 2 1 2, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is kind of looking like odd, even, odd, even. Okay. One thing that comes to mind is, oh, okay, fine, to create this alternating sequence. If I divide numbers by 2 and I think of the reminders are only going to be one of two things, either 0 or 1, right? If I divide 3 by 2, the remainder will be 1 because it's an odd number. If I divide 4 by 2, the remainder is going to be 0, right? So I'm thinking already that with this dividing by a number and taking the remainder, I may be able to get something. But let's see how I move from there to where I need to get to. So what I do here is I try to get the remainder when these numbers are divided by 2. In this case, I use 2 because it's just alternating 1 2 1 2 1 2. If it was 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, I would divide by 3. So what function gives me the remainder when I divide by another number? That's the mod function, right? you can see it, returns the remainder after a number is divided by a divisor. So I do mod and I divide this by 2. So what this is saying is when I divide 1 by 2, what's the remainder? It's going to be 1, obviously. When I divide 2 by 2, because it goes perfectly, remainder is 0. So let's see. So now you see that I have kind of created a sequence that is alternating 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0. But I kind of have things in the wrong direction, right? Because my numbers here should be increasing 1 2 1 2 1 2, right? So I need to find a way to alternate this so that instead of 1 0 1 0 1 0, it becomes what 0 1 0 1 0 1. At least when I have that, I can easily add 1 to it to become 1 2 1 2 1 2. I guess you kind of follow, what I'm saying here. It's interesting for me, the process, but I hope it's interesting to you too. Okay, so now in my head, I'm thinking it just means I need to reverse odd and even. So if I had a number 3 and the remainder is 1, if I make that number 4, the remainder becomes 0, right? So it means that I can, instead of just dividing the number straight by 2, I can add 1 to the number, just to flip it around so that instead of it having a remainder of what? 1, it will have a remainder of 0. So I do enter and you see that I flipped it, right? This is just taking advantage of the fact that I know that when I divide by 2, there are just 2 options for the remainder, 0 1 0 1 0 1. So if I add 1 to the number and then divide, it alternates. So once I have 0 1 0 1 0 1, I just add 1 to it. And I have my expression. Now, once I have this, my index function should be cool. Now, someone is like, by this time you would have done the copy and paste. Why are you stressing? I'm always thinking long term and I'm always thinking on a bigger scale. I have this expression once, I never need to bother about it again. If I get the data tomorrow and I paste it here or however the data gets in here, I mean this data, with my formula, I already have everything updated. If I have more states, all well and good. The expression is the expression. So this is what we are going to use in our index function. Here we have what we need for our row number. Here we have what we need for our column number. So let's do the index. So we are going to do index. Okay, what's the array? We know this the array here. So here I'm just selecting just what I need, right? And what's my row number? I need to pick the expression from my row formula. So I'm just going to put an apostrophe here just to halt that. So I pick this expression here. The other ways I could have done it, maybe using formula text and all that, but that's fine. So I come here and I put that expression. Okay, that's 1. Then I get the column expression from here. That's all I need. It's just row column. That's all I'm doing. Okay, so I come back in here, put a comma, put the column expression, close the bracket, put a delete here. I think I should have that fine now. Okay, and I have everything I need. Am I right? 54:17. Yep. 48:7. You bet I am. 44:6. And everybody is fine. So now we have a problem solved. If I have more data, all I need to do is to extend, right? Just to extend my range. Okay, fine, you can come into using tables or making the range dynamic, but however you want to do it, these expressions here would work. Now, because I know this video is slightly long, in the next one, I'm going to do one with 3 columns. What I mean here is that here I have 3, parameters. So the expression is a little different, but the same at the same time. Once you get used to these expressions, it's kind of easy to build it. So we'll have a second video where I would treat a similar example, but just with 3 columns, and we'll try to see, what the expression looks like. So if you like this video, hit the like button. You can also subscribe to the channel Excel Moments. Like I always say, if you can think it, Excel most likely can do it. For now, I'm out.